When most people start trading with just $100, their thinking changes immediately. Their mind jumps straight into get rich fast mode. They start picturing themselves doubling the account in 1 week, turning it into $1,000 in a month, and before they know it, they are already dreaming about quitting their job. This way of thinking feels exciting, but it is also the exact reason why most traders fail. Turning $100 into $1 million is not about moving fast. It is about being able to think in years and decades, not days and weeks. The mindset that makes this possible is called the compounding mindset. It is the belief that slow, steady, and smart growth will always beat fast and reckless gains. The compounding mindset is built on patience, discipline, and long-term thinking. At the beginning, it didn't look exciting at all. It doesn't give you that rush you feel when you place big trades and watch your balance move up and down wildly. But this same mindset is what created huge wealth in every industry. From investors like Warren Buffett to traders like Jesse Livermore, the pattern is the same. This mindset forces you to protect your capital, grow it little by little, and avoid destroying your own progress. The average trader looks at $100 and thinks it's nothing, something easy to lose. A millionaire trader sees $100 as a seed. You don't eat a seed. You plant it, water it, and protect it carefully. If you keep digging the seed out of the ground to check if it's growing faster, you will kill it. In trading, this means fighting the urge to overtrade, to risk too much, or to jump into random trades just because you are bored. A $100 account deserves respect, because how you treat small money is exactly how you will treat big money. Think about this for a moment. If you can grow your account by just 5% per week, it doesn't feel exciting at first. On a $100 account, that is only $5 profit. Most traders would laugh at that amount. But over time, the math becomes shocking. With 5% weekly growth, $100 can turn into around $10,000 in less than 5 years. And if you keep the same mindset as your capital grows, those numbers can explode into hundreds of thousands and eventually millions. The idea is simple. Growth, when multiplied over time, creates results that seem impossible in the beginning. The problem is that most traders don't think this way. They take their $100 and risk 50% on one trade, hoping to make $50 instantly. What they don't realize is that 2 losses in a row can nearly wipe out their account and completely destroy their confidence and emotions. This is where the compounding mindset separates winners from losers. Millionaire traders don't judge success by one trade or 1 week. They judge it by consistent, disciplined actions repeated over months and years. Look at the example of Richard Dennis, the famous commodities trader. In the early 1970s, he started with about $1,600 and turned it into hundreds of millions over the next decade. He didn't do this by gambling or guessing. He did it by following the same rules on every trade and letting time do the hard work. His success wasn't about luck. It was about disciplined patience. And this mindset applies even if you are starting with far less money than he did. The compounding mindset also changes how you see losses. Most traders panic when they lose because they see it as failure. But a trader with this mindset understands that losses are part of the process and are already planned for. If you lose 2% today but stick to your strategy, you can recover over time without taking crazy risks. Emotional control is extremely important. Once one bad trade pushes you into revenge trading, the mental battle is already lost. Now let's talk about emotional energy. Trading is not only about charts and numbers. It is about your mental state when you make decisions. If you are chasing fast money, you live in constant stress. Every small price movement feels like life or death. You can't think clearly in that state. The compounding mindset removes this pressure. It takes away the need to get rich right now and shifts your focus to making good decisions consistently. This makes trading calmer and improves the quality of your choices. Many new traders make the mistake of comparing themselves to others online. They see someone turn $500 into $5,000 in 1 week and feel like they are failing. What they don't see is the massive risk behind those trades, and the fact that many of those accounts blow up soon after. The compounding mindset ignores the noise. It is about building your own path, at your own pace, with rules you can follow no matter what the market does. Imagine this: you have $100 and your goal is to grow it by 3 to 5% per week. You use a solid strategy that gives you 2 or 3 good setups per week, each with a fair risk-to-reward ratio. You risk 2% per trade, which is $2. If you win, you make $4. It feels small, but after a few months of consistency, the account grows. At $500, you make $10 per win. At $5,000, you make $100 per win. The method never changes. Only the zeros do. This is how small accounts grow into large ones without blowing up. There is another hidden benefit to starting small like this. It forces you to learn risk control before big money is involved. Many traders get access to large capital too early and lose it fast because they never learn discipline with small amounts. If you respect $100, you are training yourself to respect $100,000. It's the same game, just a bigger scoreboard. Also, understand this: the compounding mindset is not passive. It does not mean sitting back and hoping for magic. It means actively learning, improving your strategy, and adjusting to the market, while always controlling risk. You are not trying to hit home runs. You are trying to make steady progress every day. Some traders hate this approach because it feels slow. But ask yourself this: what is better? Spending 6 months chasing fast wins, blowing accounts, and ending at zero? Or spending those same 6 months building consistency so you are ready when bigger money comes? One path gives quick excitement and long-term pain. The other builds discipline, confidence, and real wealth. The compounding mindset is not just about money. It is about who you become. When you adopt it, you stop thinking like a gambler and start thinking like a professional. Professionals think in systems, probabilities, and long-term results. Gamblers rely on luck and one big win. The market rewards professionals and punishes gamblers. Your $100 account is your training ground. Master it, and the future takes care of itself. In the end, the message is simple: protect your capital, grow it slowly, and don't rush. If you can do this with $100, you have already built the mental foundation for $1 million. The numbers change, but the mindset never does. Once you truly understand this, you will see that your small account is not a weakness. It is your greatest advantage. In trading, patience is not just waiting. It is waiting without hurting yourself. Many traders think they are patient because they hold trades longer or sit through small pullbacks. But ruthless patience is different. Ruthless patience is when you watch price come close to your perfect entry and still refuse to enter because the setup is not complete. It is seeing movement, volatility, and temptation, and choosing to do nothing. You understand that not trading is also a decision. This mindset is rare because the market is designed to make you impatient. Every candle invites action. Every tick whispers, "Act now." If you are not ruthless with your patience, those whispers become commands. And you will obey them. An impatient trader finds trades everywhere. A patient trader only acts when the odds are clearly in their favor. I once read about a trader who allowed himself only 4 trades per month. Not because he was lazy, but because his system only produced 4 high-quality setups. 1 month, he waited 23 days without trading. On day 24, his setup appeared. He executed perfectly and made more in 1 trade than most traders made all month. When asked why he waited, he said, "If the market will be here tomorrow, why should I rush today?" That is ruthless patience. Patience feels like doing nothing. And doing nothing feels wrong. Our brains think action equals work. But in trading, sometimes the hardest work is sitting still. Your hands want to click. Your mind wants action. So you enter early. You chase. You trade almost good setups. And you sabotage yourself. Ruthless patience is active waiting. It is a conscious choice to protect your money until conditions are perfect. The world rewards speed. Trading rewards restraint. The fast trader burns out. The slow trader compounds into freedom. There was a legendary trader in the 1980s who traded only about 15 days per year and made hundreds of millions. His edge was not magic. It was discipline. He waited. And when the trade came, he acted with precision. To build this mindset, redefine winning. Winning is not making money every day. Winning is following your plan every day. If your plan says don't trade today, then not trading is a win. Impatient traders count profits. Patient traders count avoided mistakes. Impatience damages confidence. Losses create pressure. Pressure creates bad decisions. Ruthless patience breaks that cycle. It starts with clarity. Without a clear plan, you can't be patient. When you know exactly what you are waiting for, saying no becomes easy. A mentor once said, if you can stand all day and make 0 trades, you're ready. That lesson changed everything. The real test comes during losses. Impatient traders try to win it back fast. Patient traders step back and wait. That is why one survives, and the other disappears. Patience is the foundation of scaling. Now imagine you really have that $100 trading account. If you are impatient, you might flip it to $200 very fast. But just as fast, you could drop it down to $50. The rise feels exciting, but the fall is painful and sudden. If you are patient, you might only grow that same $100 by 5% in the first month. At first, that felt slow and almost boring. But that 5% doesn't disappear. It compounds. Over time, those small and steady gains create a strong foundation. That foundation allows you to handle bigger trades and better opportunities later. Impatience looks for explosions. Patience builds empires. One of the hardest parts of ruthless patience is dealing with what-if moments. You follow your rules and skip a trade because it doesn't fully qualify. Later, you watch that trade turn into a big winner. The impatient voice in your head starts yelling, "See? You should have taken it." But here's the truth. A good trading process will sometimes miss winning trades. That is not a mistake. That is the cost of long-term survival. Your job is not to catch every winner that appears on the chart. Your real job is to take only the trades that fit your edge. The market will always give more chances. Missing one trade means nothing. Breaking your rules means everything. Patience also shows up in how you manage trades after you enter them. An impatient trader closes winning trades too early because they are scared the price might turn against them. A patient trader lets the trade reach its full target because they trust the math and probabilities behind their system. This is why patience is not only about when you enter a trade. It covers the entire life of the trade. From waiting for the setup, to holding the trade, to waiting again for the next opportunity, patience is the thread that keeps everything consistent. And it's important to understand that ruthless patience does not mean perfection. You will still take trades you shouldn't sometimes. You will still exit too early once in a while. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to make patience your default behavior. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. And slowly, your account starts to show the difference. You take fewer trades. Your win rate improves. Your stress drops. Your freedom increases. If there is one image that perfectly represents ruthless patience, it is a lion hiding in tall grass. The lion does not chase every antelope it sees. It waits quietly. It watches carefully. It studies the herd. And when the right target comes close enough, it strikes with full power and perfect timing. That is how you survive in the market. Not by chasing every small movement, but by saving your energy until the odds are clearly in your favor. In the end, ruthless patience is not just a trading skill. It is a life skill. It teaches you to value quality over quantity, to trust your process, and to resist acting just for the sake of action. It isn't flashy. It isn't exciting. But it is the reason some traders slowly and quietly compound their way to financial freedom, while others burn out from overtrading. If you can master this, your $100 account may not grow overnight. But with enough time and patience, it can grow beyond what you ever imagined. One of the hardest lessons traders must learn is that the market does not care about your feelings. It does not care about your hopes, your fear, or how badly you want a trade to work. The market is not your friend. But it is not your enemy either. It is simply a mirror. It reflects how disciplined or undisciplined you truly are. And the truth is, most traders lose because they attach their emotions to every single trade. They treat each trade as if it defines them. They believe every entry must work. But the reality is simple. No single trade matters. What matters is the result of hundreds of trades taken over time with consistency, not desperation. When a trader loses $100, it hurts. But an undisciplined trader feels something much worse, the urge to get it back immediately. That urge is how revenge trading begins. You start seeing setups that don't exist. You force trades just to erase the pain. And the market punishes that behavior every time. You must learn emotional detachment. A loss is not an attack on who you are. It is just one step in a long process. I've seen traders with amazing technical skills fail because they couldn't control their emotions. One trader I knew had a win rate above 60%. But his losses were twice as large as his wins because the moment a trade moved against him, he panicked. He closed early or flipped the trade completely. The charts were telling him to stay patient, but his emotions were screaming for action. He wasn't losing because of the market. He was losing because of his reactions. That's why emotional detachment is not optional. It is survival. Think of it like flipping a coin. You know that over 100 flips, it will land on heads around 50 times. If the first 3 flips are tails, you don't panic. You understand probability. Trading works the same way. If your strategy is profitable over time, one loss means nothing. Even 10 losses in a row mean nothing, as long as you stay disciplined. But the moment emotions take over, you abandon your edge. And once that happens, you are no longer trading, you are gambling. During the 2008 financial crisis, a trader I personally knew made over $400,000 in 6 months by shorting bank stocks. His strategy was strong. But one bad day cost him $50,000. He lost emotional control. He chased trades. He doubled down on bad positions. Within 3 months, all his profits were gone. Later, he admitted the market didn't ruin him. His need to feel right did. That is why the mindset you need is emotional detachment. Before you place a trade, you must accept that the money could be lost. You are not trading to be right. You are trading to execute your plan. If the plan says cut the loss, you cut it. If the plan says hold, you hold. There is no room for, maybe it will come back, thinking. That is emotion talking, and emotion destroys consistency. The best traders treat each trade like one grain of sand on a beach. One grain does not define the beach. They don't celebrate wildly after a win. They don't fall apart after a loss. They focus on the process, not the outcome. Process over outcome. Because the moment you judge yourself by one trade, you give your emotions control. Detachment also means removing ego. Your trades are not you. A loss doesn't mean you're bad. A win doesn't mean you're a genius. Ego keeps traders stuck in bad trades because they refuse to admit they're wrong. But the market rewards humility. A trader who cuts losses quickly will always outlast a trader who lets pride destroy them. Here is the truth every trader must learn: your job is not to predict the market. Your job is to manage risk and let your edge play out over time. That's it. Once you understand this, losses stop feeling personal. They feel like business expenses. Imagine running a restaurant. If a few meals get wasted, you don't shut down the business. You keep going because you know the system works. Trading is the same. Losses are the cost of doing business. In 1995, a small trader in Chicago started with $2,000. For the first year, he barely made money. But he didn't care about individual trades. He cared about refining his process. By 2001, he had turned $2,000 into $3 million. When asked how, he said, "I stopped needing the market to make me feel good. I just followed the math." That is emotional detachment in its purest form. You can train this mindset. First, define your risk before every trade and accept it fully. Second, forget the last trade. Win or lose, it's over. Third, trade small enough that losses don't damage you emotionally. When emotions leave trading, something powerful happens. Your decisions become clearer. You stop chasing. You stop hesitating. You follow rules with precision. The market may be harsh, but it is fair. Discipline is rewarded over time. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't care about winning. It means you care more about discipline. This is how professionals operate. This is how $100 slowly becomes $1 million. It's not about controlling the market. It's about controlling your mind. Once emotions no longer control you, logic and probability take over. And that is where real money is made. Markets are alive. They change. They punish ego and reward adaptation. Relentless adaptation is the true edge. It's not about perfect prediction. It's about adjusting when reality changes. The traders who stay in the market long enough to turn a small account into something truly life-changing all understand one important truth: nothing in the market lasts forever. Trends change. Volatility changes. Patterns stop working. And the moment you become too confident in one method, the market often shifts and makes that method less effective. This is where the real danger begins. Your brain loves comfort. It wants you to keep doing what feels familiar and safe. But in trading, comfort can quietly destroy you. When the global financial crisis hit in 2008, many traders were caught off guard. They were used to stable markets and long-term positions, and suddenly everything fell apart. But the traders who adapted fast, those who switched to short-term trades, tighter risk control, and quicker exits, not only survived, they did extremely well. They didn't sit around blaming the market. They didn't keep saying, "Things will go back to normal." They accepted that the game had changed, and they changed with it. That is the mindset. Relentless adaptation means you never tie your identity to one strategy. You don't fall in love with a single way of trading. You see strategies as tools, not who you are. And when a tool stops working, you put it down and pick up another one without hesitation. Many traders fail because they confuse consistency with stubbornness. Consistency means following strong principles over time. Stubbornness means refusing to change even when the market clearly demands it. This mindset also requires you to kill your ego every single day. Ego makes you believe you are smarter than the market. Ego tells you your analysis cannot be wrong. Ego is the quiet voice saying, "Just hold a little longer, it will turn around." Ego cares more about being right than about making money. But a trader who practices relentless adaptation doesn't care about being right. They only care about being profitable. Look at nature. Animals and plants survive because they adapt to their environment. When the environment changes faster than they can adjust, they disappear. Trading works the same way. Your strategies, your risk level, and even how often you trade must change with market conditions. Some months, the market is active and volatile, and you may trade more aggressively because opportunities are everywhere. Other months, the market is slow and unclear, and you may trade very little, protecting your capital instead. You adapt without guilt. Without frustration. Without fear of missing out. One powerful way to build this mindset is to treat every market condition as a lesson. When the market trends, it teaches momentum and discipline. When it moves sideways, it teaches patience. When it becomes chaotic, it teaches risk control. Bad traders complain about difficult markets. Great traders study them, adapt, and take lessons that make them stronger in the future. The goal is to make adaptation a habit, not something you do only when you're desperate. If you wait until the market forces you to adapt, you are already late. You should always be testing new ideas, timeframes, and risk models before you need them. That way, when conditions change, you don't panic, you simply shift gears. It's like a fighter who trains in many fighting styles. No matter who steps into the ring, they are prepared. In 1995, a trader named Marty Schwartz, known as Pitbull, was already famous for trading stock index futures. But when he saw the market changing, he didn't cling to his old style. He expanded his skills, explored other markets, and adjusted how he managed risk. That willingness to evolve kept him profitable, while many others who refused to change lost everything. His edge wasn't just skill, it was his refusal to stay the same. Relentless adaptation also means being comfortable with discomfort. Growth only happens when you step into uncertainty. If you only trade what feels safe, you limit how far you can go. The market will constantly challenge your comfort zone. Sometimes it speeds up. Sometimes it changes direction. Sometimes it does nothing for weeks. Your job is to move with it, not fight it. And here's the part most traders overlook: adaptation isn't only about your strategy. It's also about your mental and emotional state. Some days, you feel sharp, focused, and confident. Other days, you feel tired, distracted, or emotionally off. The adaptive trader notices this and adjusts, by reducing size, trading less, or not trading at all. They adapt not just to the market, but to themselves. This mindset is the final piece of the puzzle. Without it, all the patience, discipline, and resilience you've built can be destroyed by one stubborn refusal to change. The market is not required to reward your favorite setup forever. It doesn't matter how well your strategy worked last year. It doesn't care about your opinions. It rewards those who move with it like water, flexible, but powerful when the moment comes. If you want to turn $100 into something much bigger, you must be willing to reinvent yourself again and again. Every new level demands a new version of you. The beginner learns risk control. The intermediate trader masters emotional discipline. The advanced trader learns to feel the market almost instinctively. And even then, the adapting never stops. Sometimes, adaptation feels like starting all over. That's normal. Each adjustment sharpens your survival skills. It proves you're not here for quick wins, you're here for the long run. The trader who turns $100 into $1 million is not the one who finds a perfect system. It's the one who can change shape when the environment changes, reinventing themselves as many times as needed to stay ahead. So burn this into your mind. The market owes you nothing. It doesn't reward effort alone. It rewards adaptability. The winning trader isn't the one who fought the market and won. It's the one who moved so smoothly with it that there was never a fight at all. If you followed every chapter up to this point, you now understand the 4 foundations. Discipline, patience, resilience, and relentless adaptation. Master these, and your small account won't be limited by its size. It will only be limited by how much you're willing to grow. Remember, the market is a mirror. If you stay rigid, it will break you. If you stay fluid, it will carry you forward. Be the trader who bends, shifts, and transforms whenever necessary. That's how you survive. That's how you thrive. That's how you turn $100 into $1 million. If you enjoyed this video and want more powerful trading psychology insights, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now I want to hear from you. What's the biggest change you've made in your trading mindset, and how did it affect your results? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I read every single one.